Hello there, I'm Connie.
Hello, I'm Dobbs.
Welcome to The Worry Book, a podcast for anyone who has ever worried about anything ever. In each episode, we'll be exploring a subject that we worry about while trying not to make matters worse or falling out with each other. So, this week, we're talking about addictive personalities. Ooh.
Oh, I wouldn't know much about that.
I think that's a big lie.
It's a massive bloody lie. Right through in any way you could possibly put it.
I think you've got some experience.
I've got experience from not massive addictive personalities, I've never been into anything that heavy, but, I like a drink and that kind of thing, beyond what I should. And also everything from collecting football stickers when you've got to get down to get that final last one. And you will break the schoolboy's fingers who has that one you need, if that's what it takes to get it.
Is that a silver one?
Not necessarily. I think it was probably someone like who would it be? Probably someone like Steve Nicol.
Right, okay.
The Liverpool
Nickster.
Back. So left back could have been right back. I'm in trouble with Liverpool fans.
Not with me. I'm ambivalent, but
yeah.
Right. So it could be. It's about, obviously in the case of football stickers, it's about the player. It's not necessarily about the quality of the product. But so you would say that you adopt a similar approach to drinking that you do with collecting stickers. It's kind of that urge. Is there something to do with an urge?
Well, really, what I think it is. I don't think there's a massive difference between addiction and obsession.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So like, I get bizarrely something that, if I need to be on a train at 24 minutes past 7,
mm-hmm.
I will generally end up being there a good 15 minutes early and wandering around, but not too far from the station in case I get in trouble.
Well, you see, to kind of slightly talk around the issue, as it were, I would say that, this is a subject we have discussed previously, because I'm very much of the get there with 2 minutes to spare, and, that's what stations are for. They're not there for ambling. They're certainly not there for enjoyment. Stations are there purely as a means to get you to the train. They're another form of pavement, in my view. So I would say that's interesting, because you compare your sort of addiction/obsession.
Well, that's putting it quite lightly.
With this kind of like need to be in control, let's say. And I relate to that very strongly, this need to kind of be in control. But then I would say that I fine-tune things like journeys down to the last minute, putting other people at great personal and emotional distress in the process, of which I'm only too aware. But they kind of have to fall in line with my need for control in that situation, and I'm sorry that you've had to witness that.
Okay, I'm just trying to think, because that's actually quite light. If we're talking about what we're talking about, addiction.
It's addictive personalities.
Addictive personalities. So not necessarily addiction, but like, for instance, drinking wise, you can pass out, you can wake up, and some of us anyway will, and then go, oh look, there's a can, I'll open that.
Yeah.
I have half of that, probably not even half of that, and I'll pass out again. But you want that anyway.
All the fun of the fair.
All the fun of the fair, it doesn't matter that you pissed yourself. That's absolutely fine. That just keeps you warm.
Pissed and
for a
pissed
bit.
Yourself.
Yeah.
Pissed
and pissed yourself. But so, like, an obsession, a good one with me is eBay, I suppose. I just get something in my head that it's not even necessarily I want it. I'll just watch items. I don't know. Let me think of something. Like
T-shirts.
Say T-shirts, band T-shirts, or band back catalogues, and I'll listen to a band and I'll go, oh, I really like them, and then I have to make sure I've got the entire sort of discography that they've done, and go back and buy them on CD. Mm-hmm. Yes, I'm not a purist vinyl type of person, and that's mainly because they're not available on cassette anymore.
And vinyl's quite pricey.
And I haven't got a record player.
Very, very good point. Well made.
But But yeah, I mean, there's a difference between like £2.35 from Music Magpie or wherever. Can we get sponsorship from Music Magpie? Maybe. I already paid them enough. Anyway.
Other CD retail outlets are available.
Or, rather than 20 quid from...
Another one.
Yeah, big place.
A forecourt garage.
So I don't know what my point was. What was my point?
Well, I think it's about that sort of that need to complete something. So in the case of your CD collection, as it were, you've identified that there may be some CDs over the years that have perhaps gone missing, or that you talked about a back catalogue not being quite complete. So with eBay, it kind of gives you that opportunity to nip in and kind of almost complete your back catalogue sticker album. So it is, and it's. Would you say that's because you mentioned obsession and addiction? And I would say, that what we're really talking about is the personality trait behind that. And so I would say, that is possibly indicative of a bit of indicative of an addictive personality. That's difficult to say, and even adding difficult on the end makes it more difficult. But I would say that, perhaps it seems very relatable. I'm sure a lot of people would perhaps say that, they like completing things and they don't like to leave things hanging. But, is there something about certain people's personalities that leads them and draws them into that kind of behaviour more than others? And at what point does it come kind of uncomfortable?
I don't know. Sorry, I was just thinking back and just thinking about also. I just wanted to fill this in about the eBay thing and
yeah.
What I also do is I don't necessarily buy them, so I go through and I put them all on the watch list, so I know I've got them there and I could buy them because I don't have loads of excess cash, but I know that they're there. If I had the means to buy them or wanted to buy them, I could do, and that fulfills a need as well. So it's like completing a level on a game, I suppose. It's a virtual collection.
How do you feel though about those being on your wish list or say in your virtual basket? Couldn't someone else come along and whip it out? And
I'm only watching them.
You're only watching, so they could disappear.
And then even when I do buy them, I might buy like 4 or 5 albums by a particular artist, and then I'll end up streaming them because I can't be bothered getting them out of the case.
But you've got them.
I have got them in the physical format.
Format. That's the retro way of saying it.
Anyway, before I started blabbering on about that, were you going to ask something, or have you got no idea now?
Oh, I can't remember, probably.
Tell us about your own obsessions or addictions.
Well, I wouldn't say that I've got anything which would be classified as, seek help immediately addiction. I would say that, I've dabbled in things which could possibly have led me down that path of the glug variety.
Booze.
But booze. But what I would say is that I think it's going back to that kind of what type of personality do you... I do love order. I do love a list. I do love completing things. I mean, at the moment we're doing a kind of a road trip, if you like, a virtual road trip of Manchester.
You're going to have to explain this a little bit more
lockdown.
Detail, I think.
For those people...
Quickly, in a very succinct kind of way.
Very succinct. That's pressure. Right, I'll try. Oh, I've wasted some time there. That got me thinking, though. Right, so 50 windows of creativity. We've been using this as an opportunity to explore Manchester on foot during lockdown and looking in windows where bits of art have been placed for the amusement, entertainment and education of the general public. And it's great. It's been a real insight and it's brought some joy, I think, and it's also kept our step count up.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Was that succinct?
Yeah, that's pretty succinct.
So
it's
what
a trail,
you do
basically.
is it's a trail, and you can obviously enjoy the art. But what I'm finding, I mean, obviously that goes without saying, it's in very good art, and you can interact with the artists as well. But what I'm finding is I've become quite obsessional about collecting the art, because you can tap in a 4-digit code into the app, and then you've kind of like you've caught the art, you've caught it in your little virtual app net, and that to me, it's kind of like I kind of get a buzz off it. I think maybe that's something interesting, because I kind of get a little like a little high, a little sort of a little.
So what are you on now? There's actually, although it's 50, there's actually 60, isn't
There's
there? 'Cause
60 in the
so
app.
many
We think
in a
we've worked
certain-
out why.
in one place.
Because there's some
But don't worry
extras.
about that. That doesn't really matter.
And it's
so
only
out
on.
of 60,
It's only on until December. So whenever you're listening to
Yes.
this, it's
it's
probably
gone.
gone. Yeah.
It's absolutely gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah.
But it has been great.
You'll have missed it out by 3, I reckon.
Are you saying that I am? That just made me sweat. You see, is that to do with my addiction? So I'm slightly addicted at the moment to collecting these artworks and appreciating them. Just want to reiterate that I am appreciating them, but mainly we've got 20 to go and we've only got one weekend left, and I'm already thinking, are we going to complete it? Because if we don't, I can already feel I'm going to get very anxious. I'm going to feel like I've failed.
But
maybe that's so I get this rush when I've collected one, and it's I don't have an addictive personality when it comes to shopping. I think you can agree that I'm quite sort of I'm not really a sort of big shopper.
No, absolutely not, no.
So that doesn't give me the same reward. But I would say that kind of there are certain things where I can get very obsessional very quickly, which I think taps into this kind of addictive trait. Although, and I do worry about it, hence why we've decided to talk about it today, because let's not forget this is the worry, but we talk about things that we worry about. But I think it has the potential to have consequences, and I'm not sure
I
what they
think it
are.
also came about the fact that we've just sat there pretty much organising a map and a route to complete it.
It's beautiful.
On both a physical map,
with a pen,
and the app with a pen.
You did it. You did it really well.
And then yes, and so we've got it under control.
We have. You see, control again. It's come back to that, isn't it? It's kind of addiction and control. They're all kind of. I think they're kind of like woven together. And do you think there's anything where you haven't kind of opened the trapdoor yet, but there's the potential for you to get addicted to something? So, for example, there's the biggies, aren't there? There are big, scary ones. I was going to say gambling, but
okay,
yeah, heroin.
Either or.
Heroin, gambling.
I'm a bit tight to get gambling addiction, I think.
But heroin,
no problem.
pretty cheap.
Absolutely, heroin. Any drugs?
Yeah.
Really? If anyone's can't say anything.
No,
I'll have to leave that.
But I think so. No, but the without let's not sort of open the trapdoor, but let's acknowledge that it's there. It's it's kind of hidden.
They are very Moorish, though.
It's got like crisps. I think I'm slightly
heroin and
addicted
crisps
to
are
crisps.
pretty much
Very
born from the same mother.
Strong flavoured crisps. I would say. Would I say I'm addicted to them? If someone took them away, I'd be sad, but I don't think I'd have any withdrawal symptoms.
Well, but you always leave some for me.
A little amount.
Yes, you always
Crisp
leave
dust.
some for me. Literally crisp dust in the bottom.
Yeah.
But you go, I've just left you some, and then there's like maybe 3 or 4 shards, small shards, and some.
But I am sharing
finger
them.
licking dust. But I do get some along the way.
Yeah.
But
that's I mean, we don't need to go into that. I mean, ultimately, you do get some crisps, so I don't really see what the problem is. But I mean, they're my sort of thing. You always make it quite clear if you were to purchase a bag that they are primarily for me.
I was to purchase the bag. Generally, they're always for you.
Yeah.
And you just leave me some
dust.
some dust and shards in the bottom.
Yeah. But I wouldn't do is just eat a bag in front of you. That's rude. So I do, I share.
You leave that little bit in the bottom, and I'm happy to fake happiness.
You do it well.
I do.
And you obviously don't hold a grudge.
I don't mind.
You never mention it. You really don't mention it at all. It's barely mentioned once a day. But yeah, that's one of my. But yeah, I don't know. Are there any biggies where we think, oh God, if I was offered something, or if there was something that was too good to be true, maybe I could kind of see myself suddenly becoming like a dangerous gambler, or a somebody who I don't know, could you get addicted to like property development? I mean, you see these programs, don't you, where they go to bear with me on this one, you're looking a bit
No, that's fine.
perplexed. But you see the people on like Homes Under the Hammer, and they go and they say, oh, I've got this property, and they say, oh, how's this going to fit into your portfolio? And they've got like 30 properties, and they're just, they must, obviously that's a job, but do you think they're a bit addicted to it? Do you think you could be addicted to something in your job? Or
oh yeah, I think loads of people are, and they're really
you can be
annoying
addicted
and
to,
obsessed.
you can be addicted to work, can't you? Full stop.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know whether the people who are that obsessed with work or, I mean, I suppose, I've played in bands and stuff, things like that. So that takes an amount of obsession, and really, I suppose, you're just getting up there making some sound waves to a bunch of other people.
But it makes you feel good.
Yeah, it's totally ego-driven. But, so I suppose that I can't really criticise anyone. But then you go into an office or something, and someone's like, oh, and they go home and they're living and breathing it, and they're texting people.
Emails.
Emails and
Blackberries.
And all
Crackberries they were called. Crackberries. Do you remember that?
Not really, no.
Oh.
I worked in retail.
Okay.
So I do.
But yeah, they used to have, when the Blackberries first came out, they were called Crackberries because people were never off them. They were addicted to it. They compared it to crack.
But we're all going the same way. There's nothing to be gained by that kind of behaviour.
Well, some people might say, money.
Money,
and
yeah, I suppose.
Kudos. And acknowledgement.
Yeah.
And love.
Success.
And reward. And personal gratification.
Yeah. But apart from all that, really there's not much to be gained.
But apart from those things, which some people might attach to work...
when you can have a job in retail and literally be there, used right up to your overdraft, and you've got no money, and you're waiting at the cash machine to get that £10 out for when money goes in, and then you can get a sandwich and some cans or something. That's excitement. That's living.
That's living. All right.
Yeah, literally. Like and then like a week after payday, you're skint, and then you got to wait another 3 weeks. Is that not a good way of living?
It's a way of living. It's
a way of living. I know quite a lot of people.
But yeah, I think
granted, most of them are half my age, but
but there's variations. There's a scale, and it's needs must, isn't it? If and you're kind of, you've got your job that you do during the day, and then you've got your other, what I might say is more of a passion. You've got your passion, which is your music.
Hobby. Are you saying it's a hobby?
I'm not saying it's a hobby.
You're getting into all that? Should I retrain?
It's a hustle. No, it's not even a hustle.
It's a hustle?
That's the thing now.
It's a hustle?
To have a side hustle. So you have your job, and then you have a side hustle. But what I'm saying is your music is not a side hustle, because it's very much kind of, that's who you are. And the work, in your case, I think, is sort of enabling you to do...
It's a means to an end.
That. It's a means to an end.
It is.
Probably just worth saying to Music Magpie, if they did want to support us in this endeavour, to help Pete's Overdraft Fund, maybe make an extra tenner available so you can go to Greg's. Maybe Greg's and Music Magpie could kind of come on board in some kind of CD pasty collaboration, which to me, a CD pasty collaboration sounds like something I could very quickly get addicted to. I don't know about you. It's
Music
like
Greg's Pie. It's still got that's rubbish.
A Music Greg's Pie.
Yeah, no, that way. Yeah, don't labour it, because it was pretty bad as soon as I said that. So
just wanted to confirm that is what you said.
No, thank you.
I'm not sure what that is, but anyway, those
Google
two things. Maybe it's kind of food and music for us. Could be the things that we get a bit obsessed about, a bit, if we want to use the word, a bit addicted to, a bit sort of, we take them a bit too seriously.
I think it's difficult as well at the moment, because we're in 2020 lockdown. What month is it? It's now November.
Oh, I haven't got a clue. April, November. Yeah.
So we've been through all this, and it's like obsessions and things. There's
too much time to think.
Yeah, there's a lot. You can look online all day, but you can't actually get any real... You can't get obsessed with going to watch a local football team, or obsessed with...
Some obsessions and addictions
like
have probably been taken away from people.
I'm
you
sure
know,
they have. I'm sure
I think you know, you support a football team, and you know, although I wouldn't say that you're addicted to them,
no,
or obsessed with them, I would say that, you know, you're passionate about them, and you certainly do some bleeping and some shout and some swearing.
lots of swearing.
Lots of swearing when they don't do things that you think they should do, or when, you know, perhaps other people do some things that they shouldn't. So
I like the C word.
this is how I.
Both for our players
Yeah.
and opposing players.
Yeah.
Oh, you're good. Oh,
Yeah.
you're bad.
Is that stars coming
I
out
don't
your
know if we're
mouth
allowed
there?
to say that. I suppose we can say what we want.
I think you can say what you want as long as we put some kind of warning.
I'm not going to.
But
you know what I'm on about.
Yeah. Constructive criticism.
See you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday. Yeah, it does come out quite a lot. But yeah, so football, I mean, hasn't been there physically. And yeah, I just thought of a good one actually, that can be addictive, that we've had removed from us. Shopping. I think some people would admit that they're addicted to shopping, but that's kind of moved online. So maybe that's opened up a whole new realm of kind of, you know, more obsessive shopping, or kind of like compulsive shopping. That's the thing. Compulsions are kind of addictions, aren't they?
Yeah.
So, you know, whereas you might have just set yourself maybe a budget to go to buy bags. I don't know, I wouldn't buy a bag. I've got a bag. Don't know why I'd need another one, but you know, you could have a thing about bags, or a thing about shoes, or a thing about dogs. A lot of people seem to have a thing about dogs, buying lots of little dogs.
People have things about anything, and that's fair enough.
And then, but you know, online you can buy all sorts now and just have it delivered in like an exciting little parcel, and it's a little. That was what I tried to do earlier. You know, when you get that parcel, it's like, ooh, a little reward.
Oh, look,
it's feeding. It's kind of feeding your addiction though, if you're that way inclined.
Oh, someone's ringing the door. Oh, damn, I'm on a Zoom call. I can't get it. Oh no!
Yeah.
2 days later, you finally managed to get it, and they sent the wrong thing.
Yeah, and then you know, and then that's stressful. But then you'd probably want to do another purchase to kind of compensate, and then you're in a kind of vicious cycle. And you know, how do you get out of it? You just keep buying.
Crap.
In a lot of cases, but you know, that's not for us to judge. Although we quite obviously
we've all bought crap. I mean, you're aware that I bought. We needed some egg cups.
Oh yeah.
So I bought these beautiful, absolutely beautiful wooden egg cups. Absolutely spectacular. Really cheap, but really nice.
From China.
Yes, from China. Imported.
Yeah.
Like I say, for merely a few pounds. I don't know about the ethics of all these being built, but
you'd
anyway,
almost think it was too good to be true.
Almost think it was too good to be true, and I don't know whether they shrunk on the way, but they turned up, and you'd be lucky to fit like an
acorn.
Yeah, I don't even think you'd get a broad bean in it.
No.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
The only thing I can think, they are beautiful, and we have kept them. And they are what they say. They are 2 wooden, I would say handcrafted egg cups.
I did go back and look, and they didn't have measurements on.
No,
so it wasn't my fault, which I presumed it would have been.
The picture wasn't it of 16 of them, all to sort of scale.
Oh, I don't know about that.
But
I don't think that was my fault. That was, and there was other reviews. I did have a look. People did the same thing.
And they're lovely, and they've become a talking point. And
lots of cheap bastards trying to get her back.
And when we're sort of, you know, we're a low ebb, then we just kind of look at the egg cups. And
you look at the egg cups, you look at me, and you laugh.
Yeah, and then
I feel a little
but fortunately,
ashamed.
we did get some regular sized egg cups, so now we're at a full egg cup quota, which I'm sure everyone will be enormously pleased to hear.
Yeah.
Because I am actually slightly obsessed with eggs. It's become more about obsession than addiction, but I would say if I don't have eggs on either a soft-boiled egg on either a Saturday or a Sunday, I'm very disgruntled. And it sort of becomes apparent in my mood, in my conversation, in my language, in my demeanour. I'm just basically not, you know, I need those eggs to start me off and make me feel like I've big on the day well.
I agree, but I would just like to say apologies to all you vegans. We do try and get ethical ones, free range as much as possible.
Well, always.
Always. Apart from the other day when I went shopping and I got
big eggs
that I got told off. But anyway, that's another.
Too big.
You can get obsessed with diet.
You can get obsessed with diet, absolutely. I think you can get obsessed with kind of, what makes up your diet. Should I have this? Should I not have this? People. Oh, that's what I was going to say. You can get obsessed with news.
You can
very
get obsessed
easily,
with news.
and that's the scrolly type news, or the inky fingers type news, or the staring at the screen news. These are my three main types of news. I'm mainly on the scrolly news at the moment, and I'm definitely addicted to it, and it's definitely not making me feel good.
I think it's weird. I think there's almost like two types of obsessions, addictions. I think there's basically the self one. I think the scrolling the news is very much a self obsession sort of thing. It's a solid. I think it's you do it in solitude. You do it yourself. But then there's the other ones. So like being a fan of a certain band or a certain I don't know, a certain lifestyle.
Yeah.
And then there's like being part of a club, and then it's like almost a gang mentality.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying anything's bad about
like
either of
tips.
that or whatever.
I'm quite obsessed with looking at tips for how to do things.
I'm pretty obsessed with looking. What do you say?
With a P.
Pips.
Tips.
Top
tips. I don't think it's quite the same obsession as you were talking about.
Pretty obsessed.
Let's leave that for another time.
Well, yes. Can we do one on tips?
Tips, yeah, top tips.
Okay.
Top tips, we can do that. Do you want to kick one off when we do it? Do you want to do some research in the background before?
I'll get that one moving. I'll get that
next
moving.
Episode. And maybe look for a sponsor.
I'll definitely.
Yeah, I would
think of a few.
I would say immerse yourself in it, and you have my full backing.
I would immerse myself in it.
Okay, we'll look forward to your top tips then.
Actually, we'll leave it at that.
Let's leave it. It's probably getting a bit messy.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, thank you. Good night.
Good night. Find The Worry Book on Twitter and Instagram, and if you like what you're hearing, don't forget to subscribe. We're also supporting Mind, the mental health charity. If you'd like to make a donation, visit minds.org.uk. Thanks for listening, and bye for now.